So please welcome our next speaker, Justin Wolverton, to the stage, please. Here you go, brother.
Woo. Thank you. Give it up for these guys. How amazing are they? Also, another round of applause for Erin. She was amazing. This is why I'm here. I'm going to talk about my favorite thing in the entire universe, which is love. Okay, let's get into it. First and foremost, I want to thank the people that love me and created this loving being that is here today. I call it the love quadrifecta. Number 1, my dad. Number 2, my mom. Number 3, my brother. And number 4, my best friend, Daryl. And we've also got my other best friend, which is my dog. Okay, let's get into it. Here are the premises I'm working with in my presentation. I think they're pretty acceptable. 1, love is good. There we are. Number 2, everyone needs love. We're still here. Everyone is capable of loving. And lastly, love is not a finite resource. So, the conclusion we can derive is everyone should love everyone all the time. Okay, that's my presentation. Thank you, everybody. No, of course, there's a problem here. There's a problem here. Why doesn't this happen? So let's talk about it. Love in action versus love in action. See what I did there? They're very similar, but they're very different. Okay. Okay, let me tell you a little about myself. Recently, earlier this year, I built this little thing right here called the Love Machine. And I drove around the United States of America with my dog, Bro, and I performed 100 acts of love in 100 days. And through that journey, I was able to learn quite a bit about love. And so I'm going to share a little bit of that knowledge today and use that knowledge to expel some of the common excuses people have for not loving each other. Let's jump into it. Boom. Excuse number 1. I don't know what to do. I don't have any ideas. Okay, let me tell you a story. Okay? This video is not going to work, so I'm going to give you a little sample of some of the moves that are in this video, some kicks, some of these. The idea basically was simple. I performed a 30-second dance video for everybody who sent in a request with the simple purpose of making them happy. Now, this is a simple idea, but what made it great was the purpose. The lesson here is that every idea with love at the center is a great idea. You don't have to have these great ideas. You just have to have love as your purpose. And then the ideas come out of thin air. You're thinking, how can I love this person? Boom. Dance to make them happy. So we're going to move on to the next one. What if someone takes advantage of my love? Now, I hear this one quite a bit. I myself have thought this one quite a bit. Not too proud of it, but it's reality. It's who we are. We're asking ourselves this question a lot. Let me tell you another story. When I was driving on my trip, I pulled into Cheyenne, Wyoming. Now, I'm not a great photographer, but I'll tell you the story anyway. So I pulled into Cheyenne, Wyoming, pulled into a Travel J truck stop. I see a man. His name's Michael. He's holding a sign, and he's got a dog. Now, some people might think, oh, this guy's going to, I don't know, he's got this dog for sympathy. You know, like he's asking for money. Does he really need it? And if I had gone on that assumption, I would have not participated in the most profound act of love that I've ever been privy to. Now, Michael and Christy met 5 years ago in rehab. They fell in love. They made a promise to each other to stay clean. 4 years later, Christy gets diagnosed with terminal ovarian cancer. And she's afraid that she's going to die without seeing any of the world. So Michael takes it upon himself to do an amazing thing. Really, I can't even think about it without it choking me up a bit. He decides he doesn't have the resources, so he's going to get a sign, and he's going to beg for money so he can raise money to drive around the country. And when I had met them, they'd been driving around for 3 months. And the most profound thing for me is that when I asked him about it, he said that he hated holding that sign. He was so embarrassed to stand out there with that sign. But it was the only way that he could do this for his girlfriend. And if I had acted on an assumption that he was going to take advantage of me, I would have never known that this was even possible. So the important thing to notice is that advantage is the key word here. When you love, it's not about someone taking the advantage from you. It's about you giving the advantage to them. And if you have this in mind, you can't lose. Boom! What difference does it make? Now, I hear this one quite a bit. I've said this myself. I'm like, out here 11, well, what difference am I making out here? Let me tell you another story. So I was driving around. I got into Vegas. There's a guy named John. I was like, well, it's kind of hot out. I'd like a smoothie. I was like, maybe John wants a smoothie too. I see him sitting outside the smoothie shop. And so I ask him. He does. And so I get a smoothie. I sit down next to him. And in a few seconds, I realized maybe John's got a bit of a detachment from reality. He goes into talking about how he had implants in his brain and the government was, surveilling him. His mother was Marilyn Monroe. His father was John F. Kennedy. His grandfather was Al Capone. He owned all the casinos in Vegas, including the ones underground. And so, I'm about 50 minutes into this conversation, and he said something to me that really blows me away. And that thing that he said was, you know what? Thank you for listening to me. Nobody listens to me anymore. And here's this guy that I thought was completely detached from reality. And yet he was able to perceive this love and receive this love that I'd given him. And so no matter how far you've gone you think this situation is, you have to realize that love is the difference that it makes, which is my lesson here. And the next excuse, which I think is an important one, and so I'm just going to put this down, do it by memory. Here we go, going live. Okay, the next excuse that is so common is, what's in it for me? Now, right, we all have our selfish needs, but I think it's important to establish that a lot of times when we go into a situation, we're always asking, what's in it for me? Let me tell you a story, another one. So I drive into a Walmart, Santa Monica, California. I see a woman with a sign. It says, please help, 3 children, Jesus love you. She's got this great smile. I'm like, okay, boom, act of love, here we go. Go up, talk to her, soon find out she doesn't speak English. Okay, I know some Spanish. My best friend taught me some. I was like, ¿tú quieres comida en la Walmart? And she said, sí. I was like, sweet, we got Spanish. Turns out she doesn't really speak Spanish. She speaks Italian. And guess who doesn't speak Italian? Me, I don't speak Italian. So we get together, we go shopping in Walmart, and we have this amazing experience where we're going through the Walmart. She's picking up an item. She'll say it in Italian. I would say it in English. We would try to think of it in Spanish. And we would just have this huge disconnect. And basically, she would hold it up. She would say, sí. I'd go, sí. And she'd put it in the cart. But what I was able to realize is that what's in it for me is that I'm, in real time, participating in the act of love that I'm doing. I'm creating this joy for a woman. And it's not just hers. I'm in there, too. I'm looking at her smile. She's thinking about all of her, all the different cakes she can give her kid, the different recipes that she can make with the food that she's buying, a full cart of groceries that perhaps she hasn't had in a long time. And I'm right there. I see her smile. She hugged me about 1,000,000 times, not an exaggeration. Great hugs, too. It wasn't just quality, quantity kind of deal. But the important thing is that you take from the love that you make. It's not this one-sided exchange. You're not just losing something. Like I said in premise number 4, love is not a finite resource. You can't lose it, but you also stand to gain, which I think is an important thing to consider. And so to tie it up really nice and neat, I have a beautiful analogy for you. So I love to run. I'm really good at it. Do like this. And I realized the other day when I was running, I was like, you know what? Love is a lot like running. And you're thinking, because I hate it? No. That's not why. The reason love is a lot like running is because you have to do the thing in order to get better at doing the thing, right? Just like love. If you think about running, sure, you may come up with some techniques, but if you don't actually get out there and run, you're going to be sucking hind titty when you get out there, and you're going to probably end up in last place. And the same with love. The way to get better at doing love is by loving. If you think about it, if you have these excuses, if you come to it with this preconceived notion of what you're going to get out of it, you're so far removed from the loving. And instead, if you jump right in, do the love, do the thing, then the love happens. And then you learn about it too. So the important thing to consider is just run. Okay? Just do it. But love. And I think there's a small athletic company that uses that slogan, but we'll just forget about that. So next time you're out there, you think about doing the thing, don't think about doing the thing, just do the thing. Do the love, everything else will fall in place. Thank you so much.
Hi. Thanks, man. Thank you. Wow. Woo! Who's going to do the love next? Who's going to run it? Make it work. You? You? Get up here and run.